Hello, everybody. This is Dave from Universal Truth of Mankind. I am your host, and this is Kabbalah 101. Now, I recently did a video on what is Kabbalah, and I noticed it became very popular. Um, I like most of my videos, I take usually the least or one of the least traveled paths of explanations of whatever the subject matter is, and I did that with the Kabbalah. Now, or I should say, what is Kabbalah? What I want to do is I want to extend this, and I want to talk a little more about the subject. Most of my videos I try to keep fairly short. Sometimes they go a little longer than that, but I really want to start making a real effort to keep my videos short, and then on occasions do a longer video on a subject or on a topic that's popular. Now, I just recently put my um, link out there to the popular videos of mine for everyone to watch. And in time, I will be more than likely addressing some of these videos with more detail. And please like and share all these videos. They're all free. I'm not looking to make a profit. Number two, subscribe to both Rumble and YouTube. I'm on both of those. All my videos are on both. Number two is I had some issues with YouTube recently. They really dialed me down, where it's like getting 140 views per day. They dialed me to under 20 per day. It's like it's you know how when you look at your graph, it's like this. It's like all over. It wasn't like that. It went this, and then did this. I've been finding out they've been dialing a lot of people back because of the elections. But I'm just letting you know that I'm still going to do my videos. So I decided when that happened, just to stop for a little while making videos, but I'm back. Now, I want to let you know, Kabbalah 101, I have over 100 videos. I have like 105, 106 videos already in there. Quite a number in there. So please definitely delve into that playlist, Kabbalah 101, and see anything that you may have missed. Now, let's get rolling. So what is Kabbalah? Now, I've already explained that it's really about a connection between us and God, but there's more to this that I think will help you. Have you ever been in this situation? I know I have, where I've been in this situation where, I talk to a person of another religion, and I would say to them, well, how do you know this person ever existed? How do you know this person did the things they did? Were you there? And they would say, "Oh no, I believe it." I said, "Well, you believe it because you believe it. Well, there's witnesses. Well, who's the witnesses? Well, it's in this book." I said, "Well, how do you know those witnesses are true witnesses? How can you verify that this is real?" And this is a normal logic. When I think this way, I act this way. And there's nothing ill meant by what I'm doing. So they will say, they'll come up, well, you just have to believe, it was, and so on and so forth. And then I'll point out, with the Torah, certain aspects of the Torah show me I can't believe in that. And then they'll say, do the same thing to me. Well, how do you know Moses ever existed? How do you know we ever at Mount Sinai? And this is a good question. They should be asking that question, because the Torah is not about faith. Yeah, I did say that. It's not about faith. It's about knowing. It's about certainty. Well, then you had to ask yourself, okay, Dave, I read it. Well, you read it in English, right? Yeah. Well, how do you know it's accurate? What about the Hebrew side? Or then you have people say, well, yeah, I know the Hebrew. I've read the Hebrew. So, well, what did you use as a concordance? Strong's? A lot of times, yes. So, well, that doesn't, I'll show you why this doesn't work. So then someone would come along and say, hey, we're still on the subject. What is Kabbalah? Trust me. Then we'll come along. I'll show them in Hebrew where, what this means really this, not that. And they'll go, oh, and then there's those who really know Hebrew. I mean, far better than I do. And I said, well, what about this? What about that? And even there, sometimes we run into the conflict. But here's the key. And this is where what is Kabbalah is so important. How do we know that the Torah is a book worth reading to apply to our lives? How do we know that it's genuine? How do we know that it's real? Well, firstly, I read the Zohar and I study Kabbalah, so I get to see what's happening behind the scenes. In other words, I'm looking for spiritual structures that validate what's in the Torah. People don't realize this, but the Torah is all about pointing to what's behind the scenes. Look behind the curtain. Look behind the curtain. It's not obvious to a lot of people, but once you know those structures that are behind it, then you start saying, oh, this had to happen this way. Oh, yes, this had to occur. Oh, yes, he did had that option or she had that option. Oh, yes, now I understand why we think that was wrong they did. It was actually the right thing they did, and so on and so forth. And now that I'm looking at it from a spiritual structural point of view, to me, thanks to Kabbalah, it validates to me that the Torah is real, while these other books are not, because they don't have a spiritual structure behind them. There is being an effort made. I'm very proud of them. There is being effort in which they're taking their book and they're trying to say, oh, there's Kabbalah in it. And they're trying to prove that this book is genuine and is real and is useful. Why I'm proud of it is because they're going to find out, because I did the same thing on a personal level. I do that with all my books. I do it with any book I read. I don't care if it's a Hindu book. I don't care if it's Taoism. I don't care if it's a Christian book. I don't care if it's a Jewish book. I don't care what book it's from or what book I'm looking at. I try to perceive the spiritual structure behind it. And so far, the Torah is the only one that I know has spiritual structure behind it. So, what is Kabbalah? It helps you to discover these spiritual structures behind the scenes. Unfortunately, it takes a long time. It's not an instantaneous thing. It takes a while, but you do eventually get it. Thank you, everybody. I hope you have a great day. Shalom, shalom.